Well, finally it is all screwed and cut at long bloody last. Respite in the weather means I could put the last few bits in. I've done the far end awkward bit and cut that down, save a bit of sheet. I flipped that one round, so still not happy about them screws, but they were free and so was the sheets, so can't grumble. Well, I was going to clear silicone the roofing sheets just before I finished off, but the tubes have gone off. Well, that's an expensive shelf life fail, that is. They are past their shelf life. They were set February 19, but generally they will last longer than they state. But yeah, I just checked 9 of them and they're all gone solid. So it looks like I'll be off for a trip to Tool Station, I guess. Well, it's a good way down there. And it's a good way out there. We have just put some cross bearers in instead of gusset plates, as I haven't got the plywood spare to do it. Only I have. Needs to do the wood framing in there for the trusses. So this is about it. I have put my bracing in, uprights, and we are now finally ready on a Sunday afternoon to think about the felt and batten at last. I'm going to do all this side first that faces the garden, because there's no problems with this side. It's just a straightforward batten, and line the sheeting up and screw it down. This side, however, obviously we've got 2 pitches on the roof to figure out how to overcome that issue. So that will need its own thought process. So I'm going to leave that and just concentrate on getting this other side zipped up for now, and deal with the other bit next week sometime, weather permitting. Well, we're all battened up. I can't do the top one because obviously the other side's overlapping that. So that's all in now, so it's working out the other side now. And carrying on. I've just trimmed the felt back here. I might trim it back some more and then just take the screws out and then put the screws back over so it holds it down, because the angle will come over here anyway and seal this up. Well, it could be the last time you see these exposed timbers. They could end up looking like that. So the bane of my life is this big sheet, bane but essential, as we pull it over once again and close another day on the roof. So late start today, but what we've done is extended the felt I had rolled up just over that rough sheet that was covering this area. Left myself a gap with the batten, so hopefully that's enough to slide one of these angle pieces down, and I'm going to have to cut a taper in it as it comes up to hit nothing. So it's a case of laying a new sheet in here and extending the roof build across, and then seeing how the transition up here with this one is pretty much flush with the beam. So we're going to raise up again with the batten here, and then the one along the top. So I'm going to have to cut some of those angles at an angle yet to be decided, and fill in the bottom piece down there with a piece overlapping it. So it's going to be a bit of a pig, I think, but they are. Well, it's getting evening now, so it's a bit darker in here, but we've got that piece felted that you've seen on the last shot. We've now come across the last section with 2 layers of felt. I've got another 2 more to go, as you can see, with the old tarpaulin over the top. But it looks like I'm going to be thwarted once again by the weather. Tuesday and Wednesday are supposed to be high winds, which isn't something you want to be dealing with roofing felt. That's just a lightweight material that tears and rips when you've just got it stapled down. The light breeze today was a bit of a pain. But you can see the gable end works well. I've got the sun setting out to the west and the lights coming in through the gable, so that idea worked. So yeah, it looks like and then the rest of the week's going to bloody rain, so could be a few days. I might, depending on my mindset, and a few days off to let me muscles repair. Not that they do, but I might tackle some of the electrics while I can't do anything up top. We should be pretty much watertight now, because anywhere where water did drip in was over here, which has now got the roofing felt all the way across. The only place it does come in is through the door seal. And again there was a little drip coming through there, so there's a minimal amount for me to cause a problem. So I might do a temporary supply out the house, bring a light in and start the wiring, cut the power off and start stripping out. Ready for the rewire. So that's it for another day, thwarted by the weather once again. Well, it might be a sign I'm getting towards the end, as I'm now clearing out the shed that had a lot of stuff in it from the garage originally. There's that much wood in here. It's actually pushed the back of the shed over and then split the back away from the sides. So I'm now relieving some of the weight, because I can use this to line the floor in the roof for storage. Well, it's Wednesday afternoon now and still no roofing felt. I think I probably could have risked trying to do it yesterday, but it would have probably been Sod's Law or Murphy's or both. So I've let sleeping dogs lie, or the roofing felt in this case. Left it alone. Definitely too blurry today. What I did do was just sort of start clearing out some of the shed and digging out some of the wood stock, going through it, because I did have a lot of sort of leftover timber from various jobs and projects, and some of it's got woodworm in it now, courtesy of the roof. So I've left that outside. It's still usable. It's not so bad I can't use it on something else like a shed repair. So once I give it a good clear-set, that'll see off the little blighters inside the timber. But I did get some of these old salvage pallet tops, which are plywood, and get some of them up top here to cover in this area for storage space, and along here, although there are some bigger sheets at the back of the shed that ideally want to go on here first, but you know, they're in the back, so I can't really get to them. So I can't get too carried away and lump a load of stuff in here and get ahead of myself. But while I was in there digging out the junk, I did get to the lights. I've got these two which are still tubed. They're a bit burnt, but they still do fire up okay. They need a good clean. And there's 3 more behind the toolbox, so there'll probably be at least 3 up here. And I may or may not use the other one over that side of the car lift, because I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spare tubes if that one isn't knackered. None of the other ones over there. I've got 3 light fittings which need 6 tubes, assuming that these all work. Then I've got these 5-footers, and I found 4 5-foot LED tubes to convert any 5-footers to LED, assuming that this isn't damaged, because it's been in the shed with water dripping on it. And I know it has a single unit as well, which may be the one that goes up there when I take that one off. So it's a sort of mess about day, really. It's all I can do. Another sort of lost day. I think tomorrow, I think the rest of the week's going to be a write-off, because it's wind and rain from the north again. So could be a short week and not very productive. We had a good run at it, and then we've been kicked at the last furlong. So so close, but yet so far. Well, we'll start putting the light fixings in using my handy dandy helping hands loading straps, which help hold this in place while I position it and eventually screw through it, which is what you wouldn't normally do with these type of light fittings. They would have normally some mechanical fastening externally so that there is no water ingress. But obviously, as you can see, when they were originally installed by professionals, not me, they had a hole drilled through the top. They should have had a sealed gland on them to do it properly in the environment where they were, but doesn't matter. For what they're going to get used for today and the remainder of their working life, they will suffice. Well, that's the first one with the remaining clips holding it in place. These, I suspect these are new in ear lights. I'm not entirely sure, but they are terrible, which is why I replaced them in the first place at the factory they were in, because the heat from the lamp destroys the starters because they're positioned in contact with the lamp. The heat also makes these brown and brittle. The clamps that hold the entire gear tray up go brittle, so when you go to pinch these in to drop the gear tray down, they disintegrate, then makes the light fitting completely useless. These clamps go just as this one has here, which is the hook bit that grabs the diffuser. They started failing, so I basically changed them all, but it seemed I knew I could use them in my situation as long as these bits are still all right, as opposed to having to spend money to buy a light. So I never like to throw anything away that I can make use of later, as my wife will moan about. But it's useful. It saved me, what, £30 for now. So that's the other one up. Just got it on the quick test just to make sure it's all working and tickety-boo, which it is at the minute. So that's a pair up, already attracting flies. So I might put a third one up more or less where that bit of wood is if it's needed. I mean, previously I had 3 5-foot doubles. I think it was 3 or 4 up here. They were more than ample. These are now twin 6-footers, so they might be enough between them that I don't need to put a third one up, bearing in mind that I'm going to have one fixed here anyway. Possibly that single, or I might move that one along and put it on the face. Really depends how I work everything out as it comes, but I'll try late tonight after it's got dark. Obviously we have a little bit of benefit of some natural daylight now, although some of that's going to be lost when I board over this section, but I may keep that strip clear or not, because if I put the wood up against it I'm going to have to put pieces of timber to support them anyway. But I'm going to utilise all the old odds and sods bits of ply sheeting I've got to fill all this section in, so it's for storage. And the same here, not too much weight obviously, but the lighter junk. Hopefully that'll free a shed up that I can then demolish and get rid of, pending clearing the far side over there for the replacement, well, not a replacement shed, but another shed for the railway layout.